Welcome to another Soaring video. So we are back in Flight Simulator X, Steam Edition in fact, for this flight adventure, and we'll be using CumulusX for the soaring environment. I'll also be injecting the weather from Active Sky 2016, so that'll be custom weather from Active Sky. And the reason for that I'll discuss in more detail in my blog, and there'll be a link to that below. Rather than otherwise, if I go on and on about this, this video will just get too long. So let's review our flight plan, which is at Zell in Austria. So here is our flight plan in Plan G. If you saw my last video, my previous video, you'll recognise that this is exactly the same task that I flew in X-Plane 11. But today we're going to attempt it in FSX using CumulusX to create the soaring environment. Once again, we have the start line to the northwest of the airfield, up on the top of the ridge line here. I've set a maximum start height of 6,000 feet, so we've got to be under that when we cross that start line. So we'll probably be down the slope a bit on the ridge when we start, but we'll aim to start at fairly high speed so that we can zoom up a bit and quickly climb back up on top of the ridge. To do that, we're going to need some lift. We'll aero tow up to 3,000 feet, but then we need to climb a bit higher than that's 3,000 feet above airfield height, which brings us up to about 5,500 feet. So I'll be looking for some lift around this area here, either ridge lift or a thermal, to get us up above 6,000 so that we can zoom across the start line. Then we'll do as we did before. We'll run along. Delete that. Just a minute while I adjust the thickness of the line. I've lost my start line, but never mind. We'll zoom along the ridge to the right to the end, as we did in X-Plane 11. At this point it will get a bit interesting. We'll be looking for thermals in this area here. In X-Plane 11 we didn't find any thermals and we got straight onto the ridge. I'm not sure we'll get away with that with FSX and CumulusX. From previous experience I know that to get good lift on a ridge you need to hit the ridge at least halfway up the slope. Any lower than that and you're struggling and may end up landing out. Even in X-Plane 11 we did struggle a bit along that ridge. If you recall, or if you watch that previous video, and if you come along that ridge too low, you've got some extensions coming out to the south here off the ridge of hills and ridges that you've got to get across. And in fact this one here in the middle of the second leg nearly brought us to grief in X-Plane 11. It was just that we managed to sneak through on this road coming through a gap here onto the windward side of these hills and then back onto the ridge again. That was the only thing that saved us. So I'll be aiming to avoid that this time in FSX by somehow or other getting more height before I get to this area. That may entail zigzagging back and forth on one of these slopes here to get up on on top of the ridge. If we can get up to about 7,000 feet up here, we should be right to get across there. So, assuming we can get along this ridge to the end of it, as we did in X-Plane, as we come off the end of this ridge, we know from the previous flight that we need to be up above 8,000 feet, preferably around 9,000 feet, when we're heading off to our second last turn point. We were lucky really in X-Plane 11. We picked up a thermal just as we came off the ridge, I believe, and we dolphined through that, managed to get up to nearly 9,000 feet, which is very close to final glide height, except that you also have to contend with sink along the way, so it's not really quite enough from that distance out to get home 9,000 feet, but it does at least get you around these two turn points and onto this ridge. So again, I'll be looking for thermals in this area, or down this way, to make sure that I can get onto this ridge, at least on the top of this ridge, if not above final glide height, before I get to that last turn point. Thereafter, if we do get onto that ridge, it should be an easy task to get home to the finish line, which is on the on the downslope really from these hills here to the west, to the east of the airfield. So that's the game plan, but of course, as I've said time and time again, every cross-country flight, every cross-country gliding flight is an adventure. So we've yet to see what we get.
Right, so let's just check our controls. Rudder is working, elevator's working, ailerons are working, air brakes closed, air brakes open, air brakes closed and locked. So let's jump on board and get ready to launch. Track IR, close the canopy, reset the G meter, turn the C4 competition computer on, and we want to set the nominal LD ratio for this glider to 33. The wing loading I'll set to 32 for the payload I've currently got. Whoa! Very sensitive mouth. Okay. Oh, come on. I'm going to set that to show me the arrival height right around the task. So I actually won't be using competition computer on board for navigation today. I'm going to be using the open source XC application, which is running on a Surface tablet in front of me. As with my previous video, I will most likely edit in some views of that from time to time into the video to show you what's going on that. The interim I'll set the C4 to show me what the wind's doing. I've got a digital readout there of the wind. It's 121 at the moment at 20 kilometers per hour. The panel layout here is obviously different to the ASK21 in X-Plane 11. Top left I've got the total energy variometer. To the right of that I've got the standard indicated airspeed in knots. G meter on the left bottom. I've got a slip indicator in the center of the panel at the bottom, but I won't actually be using that. I tend to use the yaw string, which is that bit of red wool taped to the canopy here, just above the panel here. At the bottom right, at the bottom, next along on the bottom there, I've got the altimeter, and that's set to the barometric pressure today. So That's showing the airfield height here, which is just under 2,500 feet MSL. To the right of that I've got the whiskey compass. The radio right at the very bottom here, I'll turn that on, but I won't actually be doing any radio ops today. The yellow knob over here is my release knob for the tow rope. The blue handle is the spoilers. Also on this particular model, this is the Aerosoft ASK21 in FSX. The air brakes are linked to the spoilers are linked to the wheel brake, which I believe models the real world ASK21. Not sure if that was done right in X-Plane 11, I don't think it was. So I've got to remember that when I'm landing, not to have the spoilers fully deployed, otherwise the wheel brake will be on me as I land, which wouldn't be good. Right, so as I said, air brakes are closed and locked, canopy's closed and locked, instruments are checked, all my controls are free and working, the runway's clear ahead. My options today, if we have a tow rope brake on launch, I'll attempt to land straight ahead unless I'm above 300 feet. AGL, in which case I will attempt a turn downwind initially and then a return to the airfield. Let's get the tow plane in front of us and the tow rope on. Need to trim down a bit for the aero tow a little bit. Okay, wings are level, taking up slack. All out, all out. Got a little bit of a cross-ring wind from the right, so just lean into it a bit. As his tail comes up, I have to lift off. And then we wait for him to come up so that I can drop into the low tow station. Now when he gets to a safe height, he will turn crosswind to the right. There he goes. Shortly after that, he'll turn downwind. There he goes. Oh, turned too soon. I did. Once it gets established on downwind, he will then attempt to find a thermal to circle in. If you can't find a thermal nearby, he'll probably focus, or I hope he'll focus on terrain clearance. He's looking for lift, but I don't know where. Can't see any thermals nearby. Potential thermal. Oh, maybe up there, but he won't be able to reach that. Or he'll have to do terrain clearance. That wing flex on this model glider, the Aerosoft ASK21. is not terribly realistic. I think it's too abrupt in my opinion. Look far more natural in X-Plane 11 on their ASK 21. Just reset my track IR there. Okay, we're coming up to launch height. Right. I'm going to release here. Tow rope gone, so I'll go right, he'll go left. Okay, there's some thermals over there, but I think they're too close to the hills for my liking, the lee side of the hills. I think I'll try and get some ridge lift. Now, I can't do anything about the wheel, it's fixed down, but I've already trimmed after releasing, but I don't have any flaps to worry about. My start line's over on those hills ahead of me. I'm a bit low at the moment. I'd like to get up above 6,000 feet so that I can zoom down with a bit of speed. Get below 6,000 feet just before I cross the line. That's the ideal way to start. And without a relative wind gauge, I'm not sure. I'm hoping the wind's almost directly behind me here. Well, we're starting to get some lift as we approach the ridge. Good sign, isn't it? See if I can find some lift in this V and the ridge here. Very weak lift. Nice bit of strong lift there. Stiffy over the other side. hoping the wind's going to get trapped in this V and can use it like a thermal. But be careful here. Be close to the hill. Oh, don't stall. If I could get more lift over on that other bit over there. I'm going to try and get some lift along the other side of this V. In sync. But I got this wrong. I might have my wind direction wrong here. Still in lift. I can't get to 6,000 though. I might have to just start and try and climb up the ridge further along. Fortunately, there is a... there is a thermal over there in the valley, but might hit sync here. Okay, we're going for the start line. We're a bit lower than I would like. Hopefully we'll be able to climb up as we travel along. There we are, we're on task now. Now I need some lift. I hope I'm not too far down the ridge. Need to tuck in tight. Trouble climbing, just haven't got enough wind strength. Look at that, it's only 20 kilometres an hour. nearly on top of the ridge there. Yeah, it's a little better here. Just stay on this piece here until I get a bit more height. I've got to get across a gap shortly. Trim down a bit. I'm going to get across this gap. And should pick up some lift on that hill in front of us. The wind sort of probably about my 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock at the moment. Getting a bit of wind rotor now. Bad sink. But then we should be soon in the influence of this ridge ahead of us, I hope. It's a windward facing slope. I'll use a bit of stick lift to get up here. Here we go. I desperately need a thermal or something to get some more height. I'll reach that one. The trouble is my guess is with the lean on it, the lift will be in the lee side of the hills on the other side. My average speed's only 122 at the moment, which is not good. I'd really like some more height here somewhere. Trouble with alpine regions, the thermal clouds tend to congregate along ridges rather than... And there's some nice lift here. And if I could circle in it. I'm going to be careful I don't get on the lee side of it though. This doesn't look good. When I come round into the wind this time, I'll still climbing a bit. Gaining a few hundred feet. It's not really... I think I'll have to go for the turn point and then... bit here. I really need a thermal. There's one by 1 o'clock. I wonder if I could reach that. Choice, I've got a headwind. And what if it dies before I get to it? If I go for the ridge, I think I'm going to be too low. The trouble with lifting FSX and CumulusX, you need to be about halfway up the ridge. Below that, you struggle like mad. By the time I get over there, I'm going to be below the halfway mark. Okay, we've made the turn point, so I think I'll go for this thermal cloud. Now, because the wind, I'm not exactly sure, without a proper wind gauge, I think it's at my 1, maybe my 2 o'clock. If I go directly to the cloud and then turn towards the wind where I think the wind is, the time is telling me it's at 143 at the moment. I'm doing about 78 knots true according to XE saw speed. But I've got quite a strong headwind of around 27 kilometres an hour. Can I make this thermal? See, it's going to be leaning towards that cloud, so to get onto it, I've probably got to get onto that ridge, onto the other side of that ridge ahead. That's a low ridge, and there's a lot of interference from the ridge to windward of it. CumulusX looks upwind when it calculates the ridge lift, so if there's anything interfering with your lift, it doesn't work very well. What I'll try and do is get under this cloud and then head into the wind and hope for the best that I can hit the lift. I really want to climb badly, so if I get up onto that ridge there to my left. This is not looking good, is it? Got a long way to go to the cloud yet. Oh, don't tell me yet. I'm beginning to think its lift's over on the lee side of that other hill. The bigger hill behind this one, or ridge line behind this one. In which case, I'm probably not going to be able to reach it effectively. But I just use the ridge itself, do you think? I've got a way to go to get under it. If I take the view straight up, see, I'm not under the cloud yet. And I've got to go upwind of that cloud to find the lift, because I'm fairly low down relative to the cloud. Could I get a lift up there, do you reckon? Where's that cloud now? Oh, we're nearly under it. I wonder if I can get lift. I don't think. A long way to go yet, and I'll be in the lee side of that other hill over there. I'm going to try and get some lift up here on this ridge. Trouble is I've got interference to my right. No lift here, look. Now there is. Not enough to climb though. This is what I mean, if you're below halfway, you will not climb in FSX unless you've got a stronger wind. No, I'm doomed. Can I get onto this one? I'm still going to have trouble getting any lift. I'm too low. The winds sea dropped to 20. No lift here. Oh, there's a bit of lift there. Is it enough to get me out of jail? This better. Will it last? Get over these power lines. Uh-oh, what's happened here? Why have I lost the wind? Alright, I'm going to turn away. No, I'm sinking fast. There's a little bit of lift here. Maybe I can figure 8 in it. Up to 5,000. I'll just keep trying to figure 8 through it, this little bit of patch of lift till I get higher. I have to keep turning away from the ridge. You can't. I don't think I've got room to circle here. That's why I'm figure 8ing rather than circling. I'm still climbing. Just. Uh-oh. Don't speak too soon. Am I above the critical height I need? Still climbing. Go around for another try. So far this is paying off. No. Just get to the top of the ridge, I'll be happy. The textures look much more stretched, don't they, than an X-plane. I think, you know, on balance, I think, in this area anyway. Oh, where's my lift gone? On balance, I'd say that X-plane 11 has the better scenery for this area. And this is Orbix Global textures here, an enhanced mesh, Pilot's Global Mesh I think they call it. Come on, I want to get to 7,000 at least. My next goal. Surely I can get some lift in here. Don't understand why not. What's the wind doing? It's dropping. Crazy. It should be getting stronger. I'll give it one more run along here and then I'll head round to the next bit of ridge. See if I can get some round there. Come on, there's got to be good lift along here. This is ridiculous. Are we in that thermal over there? Is that what it is? Okay, I'm going to try and get around the next bit of ridge. So we're above 7,000. Oh, we lifted him. I wonder if I could circle here. Without hitting the hill. No, there's not a thermal there. What is it? Something there, right? No, I can't climb in it, whatever it is. Sort of going up and down. Yeah, look at the wind. It's up to about 35 kilometres an hour now. How come when you go in there it's only 20? Coming from 147. I'll try and get onto a better ridge section. That's the ridge there I got trapped on in X-Plane. I had to go follow that road through down there. I think that's the one. Oh dear, got a ways to go to get some lift. I could pick up some around here. I'll come around this corner. Yep. Okay, we've got to get out of here, get around the next section. It's been a struggle so far. When I get round this next corner I can get some lift around here somewhere. I haven't seen why the wind keeps dropping. Thought it'd be a lot stronger up here. Let's hope I can get through this next section. It's a bit touch and go here. Here's the wind. It should be about my 2 o'clock surely. Keeps dropping when too low speed. Right up to the top there. I can't really go for the waypoint. I'm only about 9 kilometres waypoint, which is out in that valley ahead of me. Come on, where's the wind? Textures on these hills don't look too good when they're stretched like that, do they? Oh, nice lift there. I might have to double back along this section. Nearly up to the top of the ridge. Coming up to 8,000 feet. I should be seeing a lot more wind than what I'm seeing on that wind gauge. Didn't go much that way, but I definitely need more height than this before I head off to my next waypoint. I need to get out from the ridge a bit maybe. See what's going on here. Still not enough wind up here, that's the problem. So that suggests there's something wrong with my weather settings coming from active sky. We're up at the top of the ridge. I've got a long way to go though. I need to be about another 1,000 feet above here. It's a good lift there. I think I'll go for the waypoint. Hope I pick up a thermal. Still lift. Now I'm looking a bit better. I might make this. I've run out of lift now though. Head for the waypoint, then down that valley to our right. Hopefully get back onto that front ridge and for the final leg home. The thermal dead ahead, but its left's going to be on the other side of the ridges. That's leaning downwind. Okay, XC saw just told me I'm above final glide, but yeah, a bit optimistic in these conditions. We'll see. What's it tell me to fly at? 57 kilometers per hour. I'm actually doing 70, but I'm into a headwind, so I'm not keen on going any slower than this with a headwind. In fact, I'm going to have a headwind all the way in the next two waypoints. Let's go round those and see how we go. The thermals are just few and far between. They're all clustered along the hills, and probably get into that one. I don't know if I need to. Try and do this without a thermal, see how I go. It's nice and calm up here. It's not so turbulent above the hills. When I drop down a bit, I'll get back into the turbulence again. Look at the wind there, it's 42 kilometers an hour now. How come it wasn't when I was near the ridge? What's going on there? 1.7 kilometers to the waypoint. Now we can duck down that valley, follow that river. Boy, that Cumulus is tempting there. If I could get into that. Without getting. Or maybe I should just try and get on the ridge again. Oops, I'm going to miss the waypoint if I'm not careful. Oops, I'm in sync. hit into the wind. Keep to the windward side of it a little bit. I've only got 6 kilometres to the next waypoint. Just about make that and get onto that ridge. I'll look straight up. I'm under the cloud now. The wind's a bit to my left, I think. What is it, 148, nearly 150. Oh, I hit it. Coming up the windward side of it now, hitting turbulence. Sink. I'm almost there to the lift here. This was a waste of time. No, I'm not going to get this. I'll go for the waypoint. Try and get on the ridge. Look at my gauges, how do you tell what's going on? Flipping all over the place. Well, my total energy gauge anyway, it's just hopeless. The wings level. Okay, we're just up to 2 kilometres to the waypoint. We can turn onto that ridge. Pray I've got lift on that ridge because definitely made it. Dropping below a final glide with all the sink on here. Start to turn. There we go, waypoint achieved. It's the final waypoint. We're on the last leg now. It's final glide through terrain, so that's a good sign. So we can trim down a bit, see if we can get some lift along this ridge. Whoa, what's happening to my graphics there? Reset track IR. Now my average speed according to XCSAW is only 70 kilometres an hour, so hopefully I can make up some along here. That wing flex just isn't right, is it? lift yet. Not too high. This next segment of ridge is sort of starting to angle out more into the valley. That might help a bit catch the wind. There's a graphical anomaly there in the terrain. A mesh issue, I guess. Now we're starting to see a little bit of lift puffing in. Below final glide again, so we have to make up some height somewhere, or maintain height on the ridge somehow. And I've got a gap to get across here, and I'm not seeing any lift. I don't know why, it should be. Wind's dropping again, don't know what's going on. Bit of wind there, bit of lift out here. Climb a bit while we can. Well, the wind's not where I think it is. It must be almost nose to it there. Nearly got above final glide, but not quite. Another gap to get across. Now it's telling me I'm above final glide via terrain, but that's okay. I've got a few hills in front of me, but I can get around those. Come on, there should be lift here. This is just ridiculous. bit of lift. Travelling too slow though. I can't speed up because I lose height. Oops, I'm in sync. Hopefully I've got enough stick lift to get over this. Try not to lose any height. Getting too low. Nice bit of lift just there. We're nearly there. Approaching the finish line now. I think I've got about 1,000 feet in, but I've got to get over this ridge here, get to the line. Okay, we're in the clear, we're going to make it. There's our airfield. Finish line ahead of us. There we are, task complete. Ooh, that was a struggle. There's our airfield. 1 o'clock or so. 11 o'clock. So the average task speed was only 87 kilometres per hour, so we didn't do as well as we did in X-Plane. Wasted a lot of time trying to climb that ridge. Plenty of height for our approach. So So the wheel's locked down, we don't have to worry about that. We don't have flaps, we don't have water ballast. We go a fair way downwind. Way too high. Could pull the air brakes now, but I won't. Wait until I at least get on the base leg. Golf course down there by looking at it. Should be able to do a base leg between these two lakes down there, I think, or reservoirs, whatever they are. Maybe I have gone a bit far. Won't pull the air brakes just yet. Got a headwind here. I won't do a base leg, I'll cut it short. Oh no, we're alright. I've got a bit of speed in hand as well. So, hand on the spoilers. Remember, I can't put them all the way out when they're actually touching down. So we pull the wheel brake on. A little bit of air brakes now. We'll trim a bit, speed down a bit. A bit more air brakes. We're going to land on the main runway. Bit of a crosswind. Brakes fully deployed. Don't want to get them back in shortly. A bit. About now. Ease them off. Oh, I need more. Try to get down near the threshold. Now ease them off. Oops, we're drifting. And we'll go off onto the windward side of the runway. Okay, start bringing the wheel brake and air brakes on. Okay, should be clear of the runway. Turn the C4 off. Start the shutdown procedure in the radio. Whoops. Open the canopy. Okay. No, task complete. Yeah. Just do a bit of a review in Plan G at this stage, I think.
So here's our flight path in Plan G, or taken from Plan G. Initially we struggled. Around this area here, couldn't seem to get any decent ridge lift, just small patches of it. So I started a bit low on the ridge when I crossed the start line, and then I didn't do all that well along that ridge either. I still was not seeing really enough wind strength to give me enough lift to build up some momentum in the glider. So what I did in the end, I circled in a piece of stronger lift. I'm not sure if it was the beginning of a thermal or something, until I got a little bit higher, and before heading off to my first turn point at Zell. Then instead of going to the ridge to the north, because I thought what would happen if I did that, I thought if I went straight to the ridge, I will hit the ridge less than halfway up the slope, and then I'll struggle like mad to climb in those conditions. So instead I headed for a thermal, sort of down the valley, but I discovered that the thermal, which was, I think it was somewhere around here on this lee side of this ridge, if you allow for the downwind slope on the thermal, I was expecting to really intercept that lift in the lee side effect of the hills to my east ahead of me. So instead I diverted back onto the main ridge system. I didn't find much lift initially, but till I got onto this second segment of the ridge, and then I managed to find a little patch of it quite strong where I could do some figure eights till I got up to a respectable height. And then once I got up closer to the top of that piece of ridge sticking out there, I was able to double back a few times and get some more height before continuing on along the ridge. Then in this area here, I about 3/4 of the way along that second leg, I doubled back a few times to get a decent amount of height so that I could get round the next two turn points with a good chance of getting back on the ridge system to the south for the final leg of the course. I made a tactical error on the third leg in this area here. I diverted to a thermal and I couldn't find the lift. So I realised I was losing ground there and losing height. So I went straight for the turn point and back onto the ridge system to the south for the final leg, and then made that final ridge run back to the finish line, which again wasn't brilliant because I just couldn't seem to get the wind strength I needed to build up some momentum in the glider. There just wasn't enough lift along there. So all up, it was a fairly slow task. However, we did make it, and that's the main thing, isn't it? So it was quite a challenging task. Certainly more challenging than what was in X-Plane, although that was pretty dicey too at one stage. I think for my next video what I'll try and do is I'll do another X-Plane 11 one, but I'll do it as a thermaling task without any read slurring, and that could be quite problematic because X-Plane 11 seems to only have blue thermals. There's no clouds associated with the thermals, so it might make it very difficult to complete a task in X-Plane 11, a pure thermaling task that is. But we'll see how we go. If that's successful, well, then I could do a comparison task, or do the task again as a comparison in FSX with CumulusX to see how that compares. Otherwise, yeah, wasn't as expected as always. Always different to what I expect.